Those two gonna bang.
They left the fortress again. None. Our scouts think they've moved their ship inland.
I told you this planet would be safe haven for our coven.
It's not going to stay safe if Osha keeps running away.
You want to say something? By the same thread. A thread woven through all of existence to others.
I want to make my thread bigger.
Spell for that. That was
Power
stupid.
of one.
Oh God.
What is troubling you, Osha?
What happened?
This is true.
She's scared.
So they're literally changing it from the Force to the thread. They're not just.
It is about sacrificing our pathways.
This is the sphincter of continuity. This is Disney. Not everyone wants to be a space lesbian. I mean, I want to be a space lesbian, but maybe they don't.
The brink of extinction!
Who left the hyena out?
To be fair, if I came across a group of people acting this way, just randomly, I think it's pretty weird too.
Yeah, I'd take their kids also.
It's not up to you. You can't stop me. Yes, I can. How? I'll kill you.
What?
Why is the metal burning?
What the fuck just happened? What's happening?
Hold on. So that one little fire that she started just.
It just the
Well,
whole
everything
place
would've
just imploded.
Yeah.
So thoughts right off the bat. They didn't go that crazy with the Force.
It wasn't as crazy as I thought.
It was,
gonna
yeah,
be,
it
but there's
wasn't that bad.
It was wrong, but it wasn't bad. It was fine.
I think it's the same thing.
Correct.
I think it's the same thing. They're just using it differently, is what I think. And I do think that some of I like where Leslie Headland's head was at with that. I don't think that she tried reinventing the wheel and it didn't need to be reinvented. I feel like you could still use some of those kind of cool Force tricks, but still using it as it's just the Force.
I feel like she would be a very good creative director. Or like
See, so I don't know if you guys got this vibe, but I feel like there's good, meaty, new things in it. She's just doing it wrong.
I like that there's just like the Night Sisters, there's another culture or group that lives on their own and they don't trust anybody. Like, I don't have a problem with that.
And it wasn't
That shit's fine.
It wasn't as preachy as I thought she was going to get with it.
Yes.
There was one line that made me kind of go, but that was it. When she was just like, the galaxy doesn't accept women like us or whatever. And the reason why I kind of...
Does she mean lesbians or witches?
Well, yeah, see, so I don't know. And the reason why I kind of winced at it was a little bit like there's in the Star Wars universe, there's a whole bunch of species like aliens and whatnot. And I don't feel like the concept of just man and just woman has ever been a thing because there's like so many aliens in the galaxy in this universe. So it's like, it just felt off to me.
There were some alien races in that group.
All
of them were very humanoid.
Yeah. And that might have been just for budgetary reasons, to be honest. But I feel like when she said that, it kind of brought it into the real world. Didn't really feel like Star Wars.
The thing is, she was like, people think they know the Force, but it's actually the thread, and then proceeded to describe the Force
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I
So
was like,
so
what?
that's why my thinking is that they just understand it differently, I think, is kind of what it was. And see, so like the concept, like what the only thing I didn't like about everything they did was one, the weird orgasm faces that they were
Yeah, that
making.
was
I didn't
strange.
like that. But then the other thing is too, I didn't like that you could see it in her hand. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
feel
okay.
like
I thought that was just me. That was kind of bugging the fuck out of me. I
yeah,
was like,
With
you're not supposed to be able to see the force or the
with
thread.
the
it's
It's
something
Night
not a
you
physical
Sisters,
feel.
thing.
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the Night Sisters, you can see stuff, but they
But
make
they're
it very
using
clear they're
magic.
using
yeah,
the
they're
full,
not using they're
not
not
magic.
using they're using okay, so with the Night Sisters, I believe they're using like part of the force with their magic.
Okay,
But it's
so
not
here's
just force.
so I don't know how true this is, but this is what because I like watching Star Wars lore videos and stuff. Whether it was Star Wars Theory or someone else I watched, they were talking about it, and they basically said in different galaxies, the Force exists in the universe, but in different galaxies, the Force interacts differently with the people who can tap into it. And
Kind of
so
like a
the
different universe.
uh, galaxy.
I know, but I said like kind of like a different universe,
Okay,
like
yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
alternate universe.
Yeah, so like so for instance, the Night Sisters, so they come from another galaxy. And that's where they reside. And oh well, their original planet. So in the lore, when we see them in Clone Wars and stuff, they went to the normal Star Wars galaxy. But their ancestors originated in another galaxy, and they figured out how to do the oh my gosh, what's it called?
They
When
figured out how to hop on the whales and go to a different galaxy,
yeah, pretty much. Anyways,
hyperspace.
so in the lore, they say that like the Force is different in other galaxies or whatever. So, that's kind of where the Night Sister magic kind of comes from.
And then they just made their home world Dothamir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with them and these witches or whatever, it's just like they're just using the Force. They're just Force users. They're just using it in a unique way.
Also, people don't like you. So I shouldn't have started talking about my mouth full of chips. My bad.
Yeah. So here should
Like people don't necessarily like Jedi or Sith, but once they see a dude rocking a lightsaber walking around, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna steer clear of him, but I'm gonna leave him alone for the most part." Most people, there's some people that are idiots, but if you're a witch running around, no one's gonna care.
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna care at all. Zero
Yeah.
caring. Because I mean, Ventress could walk around and basically go wherever she wanted to go, and people left her alone.
Yeah.
She was a
So
lot uglier than most people in that.
okay, so as the episode goes, I mean, I think people were setting it up a little bit more intense than I feel it came off. I now
I
there's a chance that that could have changed because they did do reshoots and rewrites, and I guarantee when they were getting backlash, they probably dulled it down. I would have to guess. Because when people were reviewing it, they were saying like, "Oh no, this episode ain't gonna work." Like, and I think that the two kid actors weren't very good. I feel like Disney has had a really bad habit of casting really bad kid actors in their Star Wars shit. I don't know what that's about, but
Oh, I have an idea, but I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
anyways, and so then the other thing that I'd say is too is that it had good bones. It was just executed wrong. I feel like Leslie Headland just did not have the experience needed to do this, and it shows in the story pacing. So I'm curious on what you guys thought about the pacing.
The pacing, like you said, it's way too all over the place. It's like
Yeah.
1 minute it's right here. There's no time to kind of like let things simmer and let you think about it. It's just immediately, okay, this just happened. Oh wait, now this is happening. Like what really bugged me is every single as we were trying to learn about it and we were just visually taking in, they would take the character aside and then tell the character like they were trying to tell the audience like this is why. It's like don't
If you have
fucking do
to,
that. And it bugged the shit out of me when she walked over and went and talked to the Wookiee, and the Wookiee turned around and looked at her, and then the next shot she was just walking away. It's like have a split second where the Wookiee, they obviously she's kind of frightened by him because he's so big and hairy, and it's an unknown person she's never seen before. Have him hand her a wrench and have her look at the wrench, and that kind of sparks her interest of becoming a mechanic.
Yeah.
And then she smiles and then walks away nervously instead of just cutting it right there. Just hi,
Mm-hmm.
hi.
Yeah. The cutting is wrong.
So
The cutting
I have
just
a,
yeah.
I have a lot of theater experience, and something that they teach you when you start doing theater is show, don't tell. And they also talk about that when you're doing like writing. They had to tell you everything
Mhm.
Yeah.
because nothing they showed on screen made any fucking sense.
Well, you know, I think I hope that I hope that I hope that Lucasfilm doesn't just drop this. And I hope they can revisit it in a better way because I like the timeline. I like some of the things they're setting up. And I think there's good potential to tell a good story here. I just think they got the wrong people.
I will say it would be really cool that an Acolyte. It's because of what happens in this show is the reason why in the future they don't uh, try to take on Padawans or train younger
Yeah.
kids because they're like it's a issue. It'll
Yeah.
cause an issue.
And to give credit to the show, there's going to be more episodes to come. But some people are theorizing that the Sith mysterious person is going to be the mother, the black lady, is what people are
The
theorizing.
mother slash dad,
Yeah,
which is weird.
and I would really
So
hate
let me
that.
just insert bone marrow baby into this.
I really
Because it's
think it
like,
should be
you could
Plagueis.
do impregnated by midichlorians, or Plagueis would be cool too. Or
It's a
whatever.
timeline. Plagueis is alive. He's
Plagueis
some
is alive.
galaxy.
Yoda's out there. I want to see Yoda in this show.
They're not
so
going to show
bad.
Yoda
Why?
because
But-
Leslie Headland thinks we shouldn't need to be there anymore. Like because it's a George Lucas centric character, she's not going to want it in the show.
It's a George Lucas centric universe.
I know it's stupid. I don't agree.
Then leave.
I don't agree with it. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying don't expect
Yeah.
it. I doubt it.
It's understandable why they don't want to incorporate, kind of like how when Mandalorian season 2 came out, we were talking about how we really hope they don't incorporate the main story and movies into the TV
Yeah,
show.
and then Luke
I can understand
Skywalker
they don't
showed
want
up.
to do that. Yeah, they don't want to do that. Like I get that. I think that's great.
But
I'm
this
tired
is
of
a time
main
period-
cast-
This is where we don't know fucking Yoda in this time period. So I think it would be
Sidious is
different.
also, I just realized Sidious is alive.
He's really young though.
Yeah, he's really young. He hasn't been trained yet.
Yeah.
But how much you want to bet the ending they tease it?
I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't.
Palpatine returned again in the past.
Somehow Palpatine returned. No, like
Palpatine retcon.
if Yoda showed up, that'd be fucking awesome. I want to see a young Yoda. I think that'd be badass. There was a funny story. There was a young
Oh, yeah.
Yoda movie that was planned for a long time and they scrapped
and
it,
they never did. But
which would have been badass. I would have loved that.
it's like Disney. I swear they have someone in the basement who's hunched like a Quasimodo hunchback with 3 extra toes and a 5th nostril somewhere, who's just in charge of making lists of things the audience wants. So that
I got an idea for you.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
called Kathleen Kennedy.
She's the troll under the bridge.
Yes.
The chicken inside of her and make it gay.
Okay. She is ruining all of these projects. If I had to point a finger at anybody, it would be Kathleen Kennedy.
She needs to be
Speaking on specifically Star Wars. And she's not going to get fired because I swear to God she has some dirt on Bob Iger or something. I don't know
She has dirt.
what
No,
she's
I
got.
bet you she has dirt on everybody. I bet that's how she got the position, was that she got dirt on someone. She's like, if you don't give me the president position, I'm gonna leak all this shit.
Yeah.
How much
she's
you want to
sucking
bet
a
it was
lot of
leaked to
dick.
Epstein?
Yeah, probably.
She's sucking a lot of dick.
So, final thoughts.
You know-
I'll go. Oh, what? You know what?
Do you know who's the girl that made Acolyte, that wrote it, directed it?
Leslie Headland.
Yeah, you know who her boss was for a decade?
I heard the name, but I didn't pay attention to his case.
Who?
Her boss was Harvey Weinstein.
What?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
She was his personal assistant.
Oh, so she knew for sure.
so
She
people
knew shit that was going on. Yeah,
yeah.
that no one's acknowledged it. No one will acknowledge it. It's like no
And
one
then
will
she makes
ask
a
her.
show about grooming children? Interesting.
Okay, I won't take it as far as grooming children, but I will say, um, yeah.
Okay,
What bothered me
so
a lot is they made both sides so predatory.
okay, we're not going to get into this.
That was weird.
So final thoughts, and I'll start, and then we'll go around. Pretty much, if I had to give this episode a scale, I would say it's a lot better than what I was expecting. I'll give it that much. Um, I think that these episodes should be longer to flesh out some of the things that are going on. I think that I'm still loving everything going on with the Jedi. Okay, I think so far she's done everything right with the Jedi. But her narrative with the twins and these witches or whatever, she's fumbling the bag really hard.
Like why is it why what I want to know is they're probably going to explain it in later episodes is why are they the only two children there and why is it so important that they are
so the
next.
idea is that they were born from the Force. And so they have a purpose for something. So they haven't really explained that yet. This is spoiler territory that I've just gotten from research. Is that the idea is that they are a dyad, and it's the first in generations. Like the last dyad was the two twins from the Old Republic games. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
Yeah, like they were a dyad, and then the next one after these twins was it Luke and Leia?
Right?
I don't
That would
know.
make sense because
I think it was Luke and Leia, and then it was Rey and Kylo Ren. But anyways, so there's something building up to that, and yeah. Hiram, thoughts?
Where to begin? I was a little upset about the Force thing at first, and I thought about it. I was like, you're saying the same thing using a different word. I mean, a rose binds
Yeah.
her name.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Isn't it the
It's like, that was
exact
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it tied you together. The Force binds us all, and like you're saying the same shit.
We're all connected by a thread. It's yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like it's not a sphere; it's a thread. It just happens to go everywhere. Which you're stupid. Whoever wrote that, you're stupid.
You know, and they kind of dabbled with like using. Yeah, I think of it as kind of like airbending, like using the Force, like airbending, like a weapon, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that in concept is cool because it makes sense, right? It's just the Jedi never did that because they felt that was overstepping. It wasn't
Their
their Jedi
execution
way.
of that particular scene was really bad.
It was kind of cringy, but they introduced it with Ezra in the Ahsoka show,
Yeah.
where he was kind of using it, and I think that was cool. I think for his character that made sense.
I mean, it has a
And-
place for sure, but it was just
Yeah.
I mean, like the acting, the staging, the choreography they used for the scene.
I don't
cringe.
know what kind of vibe she was going for. It came off really weird. It gave me hold on. It kind of gave me like Leslie Headland was into those spirit massager people. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where they lay on their back and they like do this like right above their back, and they go like, oh my god, and they like look like they're coming repeatedly. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
That was
I
her
wish I
inspiration for
didn't.
this cult.
It's like
Culture.
I think they call it like a spirit chiropractor or whatever, where they're like pulling on your little spirit strings. And
Chiropractic is already a pseudoscience, so they're just pseudosciencing a pseudoscience.
yeah, but it's way worse. I don't know. I feel like she was into that or something, and she wanted to like incorporate that into this.
I guarantee if you look up like, what's this chick's name?
Leslie Headland.
If you look up Leslie Headland and try to find her religious affiliation, it's going to say some pagan, crystal, asparagus, Sagittarius,
Or she's
Capri Sun.
a Scientologist.
Tom Cruise is not that weird. He's weird, but he's not that weird.
Scientology is pretty weird.
My issue is that everything that they've been talking about, how kind of original it was, because they kind of gave up the idea that what they were doing is something that they have not, something that no one's done before,
It's
right?
a revamp of a lot of old concepts.
It's a revamp. Like nothing is original. Everything is taken from older stories that have already been told for years in Star Wars, whether it's the Night Sisters or um the well no yeah, basically the Night Sisters.
The
That's
only
pretty
thing
much it.
that proves is the people making this show have not seen any of the other stuff.
No, they have. They just actively choose to ignore it. They publicly talk about that all the time.
Ah, okay. If you don't like the universe you're going to, don't go into it. If you don't like what you're doing, don't do it.
So this is the problem, ultimately,
Women.
is that
Sorry, that
they
was a joke.
they
joke.
use, whether it's Kathleen Kennedy or the directors or whoever, I don't know who it is. For some reason, Star Wars has just become a platform for them to shit out a message. And it's like, why has Star Wars become the platform for that? I don't understand. Because it's almost like they saw the sequel trilogy and they went, the sequel trilogy failed. Fuck it. We're just going to use this to shit out our messages and just give it to whoever wants it. And they can just do whatever, just to make the money off of it. And it's like, you do realize that as a business, if you just hunkered down, hired people who are passionate about Star Wars, hired people who really wanted to make something great, you would make more money. Like, that's what I don't understand. It's like, just because something failed, you're just going to just start shitting it out now because it didn't work once?
Well, I know a guy, and I think I talked about him during the podcast too, who's a bit, if I said a native Californian white guy, picture him at like 6'2", and then you nail exactly what this dude looks like. And he loves everything woke because he's just a pussy. Yeah. And you might see this and be like, he might call me like, dude, you can't walk up the stairs without getting winded. Shut up.
You hurt
Anyway.
my feelings. You know that's illegal.
Yeah. And I still use Facebook because I'm secretly a 30-year-old man. I saw on Facebook he did this big rant about how much he loves Acolyte and all the messages they're going for. And it's quite simple. They have built it for a completely stupid audience.
So I listened to this, someone talk about this today on YouTube. Basically, if they want to do this for certain projects, that's fine because it's not for us, it's for them. And that's fine. That comes with movies, that comes with entertainment. Some things just aren't for us, and that's totally fine. The problem comes down to they market it this way, and then because that is not what Star Wars has been about, so they're literally going against the masses of this property that they're trying to make. That's a side effect of what they're choosing to do. Okay? You should know that going into it. It's still fine that you want to do that. Just know you're not going to make as much profit, right?
Yeah.
The problem comes down to when it's put out. If it had the messaging in it, but it was still a really good story, that'd be different. But they're doing the messaging, and then it's coming out shit, and then people don't like it. See, the problem is that when people don't like it, then they turn around and they blame you. They blame you. They say, "Oh, you're this, you're that, you're a bigot, you're this, you're a hater," all these things, and they start blah blah blah. It's all your fault, and then it's like now no one likes you. Now no one's gonna
This
come and
political
want to watch it.
messaging,
There's no
agree with.
accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you would, any
Look
good
at-
studio,
A great example is look at Helldivers 2. The
Mhm.
accountability
Yeah.
that the people, the devs have taken and what has happened so far. That
Exactly.
game's only been out for 3 months now.
Yeah.
And it's already probably in the top runner for Game of the Year and probably one of the most respected game developers in the industry right now.
Fantastic game.
Any professional studio of any kind in this industry would either say nothing or apologize. Because if you say nothing, but then work to be better in the background, people will eventually forget.
Mhm.
And if you just apologize, people will get over it a lot quicker and then forget, right? If anything, they'll remember, oh, yeah, remember that one time they came out and apologized and fixed their shit? It's like, what?
It's when you do it or apologize, but then you keep making the same stupid decisions over and over and
Exactly.
over. It's like
Yeah.
your apologies aren't meaning shit. You guys don't actually care what we're thinking about, and you're pissing people off even more.
Yeah, but
Bad
then
writing is not the audience's fault.
yeah, exactly. But then they poke and they prod and then they start more controversy and more controversy, and then people don't forget, and now you've just caused a rolling problem that's gonna keep persisting. You
We
know?
should just write our own Star Wars at this point.
And that was another thing I was going to talk about. I was literally almost anybody I've watched on YouTube that's been talking about this have all come to the same conclusion. They need to just fucking give the IP to the fans. They need to just stop and just give it to the fans.
There's some
Yeah,
bomb ass YouTube mini shorts that people have done.
because it doesn't take, like, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you want to see it succeed. You know the story. The thing is that you can have something new and still respect what came before. See, that's what they're doing also, is that they want something new, but they don't want to respect what came before. And it's like, if that's the case, fucking go make your own thing. Like, that's
They wanna-
totally fine.
They can't.
They
do
wanna
that
take all the
because
credit.
evil cannot create; it can only corrupt. So that's what they're doing with Star Wars.
So, like,
Let me know when that gets annoying.
this will be this. I mean, it makes sense. It's just so this is my last bit, and then we'll end it because I'm already at an hour. So Zack Snyder, for instance, he went and he pitched a Star Wars trilogy to Lucasfilm, and they didn't like it. It was too dark and gritty because it's Zack Snyder. That's what he does. What he went and did is that he then went and took that idea and made Rebel Moon. Granted, Rebel Moon was dog shit, but at least he just didn't give up on the idea, and he went, okay, fine, it's not for Star Wars. I'll go make it myself. And people were in complete support of that. And for people like Leslie Headland and even Kathleen Kennedy, if she so chose, if this is what you really believe in and this is really what you want to do, I am in full support because that's what you believe in. But stop putting it in something where it doesn't belong. We can do messaging, like, obviously that comes with storytelling, but don't make that the only substance you have to offer. Anyways, that's the end of my rant.
News at 3.
News at 3? What?
Back to Hiram with the weather.
Oh, thank you.
Hiram?
It's raining. No.
Okay.
It's still cold.
Double
go.
last thoughts. Anything? Just a quick comment.
Shit was gay.
I want them to pull my thread.
Pull my thread.
No, you're not gay enough for that. They can only pull the thread of people who are gay.
Isn't that called a bean?
Okay, we're gonna end this now.